In my first video, I talked a little bit about the origin story of the 12 dimensional um, cosmology and how it started from the idea of a theory of everything, and how I came up with the conclusion that a theory of everything can only start with a dot, with a point, or else with the number one, and more precisely with the number one in a binary system. Today, I'm going to talk about duality. I will sketch the context of that point. If we consider a binary system, like a processor, a computer processor, uses it, then we have two values, 0 and 1. And these two values are both numerical, and they are both, they have the same kind of value. While if we consider this geometrically, so on the one hand, I talked about a point, a dot, and on the other hand, I talked about the number one. So there's two concepts already. There's geometry, and there's just numbers. So if we consider the numbers, and we consider a 1 and a 0, like in the same way a processor does, there's not much of a difference between 0 and 1. 0 says it's that direction, the 1 says it's the other direction. While it is the fundament of a theory of everything. It's not a mathematical concept. It is a reality concept. It's a holistic concept. And I want to excuse myself if I don't talk scientific language. That is because I'm not a scientist. I just like to think about these things. So if we consider 1 and 0 in the sense as a processor considers it, it's just a value, and these values are quite similar. It wouldn't really matter much if it was 1 or 0, or left or right, or black or white, or anything, or you could switch them. But if you watch it geometrically, then we consider a point, and the point is 1. And what is the 0? The 0 is the nothing, the nothingness. And in nothingness, there is infinity. And that's the point I want to get to. So, in a 12D cosmology, the binary system is not just 1 versus 0 in a numerical sense, but more in a holistic, philosophical, in a true sense. A 0 is a 0. A 0 has a quality of infinity in itself. 1 is unity. 1 is defined, and 0 is absence, and absence can be anywhere and everywhere. So my idea when I started at this concept was, okay, let's let's start with the beginning. I it's quite obvious that that was my take on the quest for a theory of everything. And so I thought, let's erase all what is matter and universe. So there's I imagined an universe without stars and without planets. And then I went a step further, and then I thought, there's not even energy, there's not even time, there's not even space, and everything, and the only thing that is just that dot, that point. Um, and that point confirms that something is. The idea of to be or not to be. The idea of in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And if you want to define a theory of everything, you start with saying at least there is something. Because if there's nothing to make a theory about, we have to start with zero. But that's impossible. But because there is someone who wants to formulate a theory, so there is at least something. That is something we can confirm because we are here. So that's why the one, the point, the dot is the ultimate beginning. But the point is embedded in something. If there is a point, it has a location. So it is embedded in something, and that something is around it. And even though there's not even space defined, there's no dimensions defined, there's nothing yet. If you say there is something, then it stands against nothing. Nothingness, that is zero, and somethingness, that is one. And in the binary system, that is not exactly so very clear. As I said, it could as well be red or blue or black or white, or yes or no, or left or right, or whatever. But if you consider it geometrically, then a point is defined, and it's here and not there. It's defined. So that definition can only exist in nothingness, and that is zero. And that is why I connect the binary system 1 and 0 to the yin and the yang, because the concept, the deeper concept of unity and definition versus nothingness is defined in the Eastern idea of yin and yang. And in nature, it is everywhere. The idea of to be or not to be. Even in electricity, there's this male and female polarity. In life, of course, there's male and female. So and yin and yang is much more generic than male and female. Male and female feels quite earthly somehow, while yin and yang is a concept that is more accurate. So if the first step of the theory of everything is considering um, that at least there is something, then the second step is to realize that that something is found in some kind of nothingness. And the yin and yang principle translates itself in the idea that you can see it numerical, binary system, 1 and 0 on the other hand, and that is yang. And on the other hand, there's the geometrical view. That's more yin, that's more female. If you're not so very much familiar with the yin and yang principle, then yang is male and yang is the heaven. The I Ching is the book that describes yin and yang very profoundly. Yang is the heaven, and yang is mental, yang is digital. Yin is earth. Yin is everything what is manifested. Yin is receptive. Yin is receptive. Yang is creative. So geometry is receptive. If you put a dot, a point on a black page, a white point on a black page, then the page is receptive. Nothingness is receptive. And so yin represents the concept of infinity. And I have often said, understand the concept of infinity and you understand the roots of the cosmos. Because infinity is often in science and math, and again, I don't know so much about these things, is being ditched, is something to handle. While if you consider it as a worthy value, then you can work with it. I guess that's what I have to say about duality, yin and yang, nothingness, and definition. And it's only the very first step. I'm grateful for the reactions I got. But of course, these reactions cannot take into account what is coming up. So thank you for your patience, and I'll be back soon.